Well, it has indeed been 10 years since South Africa hosted the 2010 FIFA World Cup. The tournament was eventually won by Spain, whose team has gone down in history as one of the greatest ever. CGTN's Rahul Pathak has been speaking to two of the country's top football journalists to get their memories of South Africa 2010.
It's a moment etched on the country's collective memory. Spain winning their first World Cup, beating the Netherlands 1-0 in the final. A moment to savour for fans back home and for those reporting on the tournament in South Africa.
It has been 10 years already, but I think there's nothing bigger for a journalist than to report about your team winning the World Cup. That's the peak, and you have memories that get even more important as time passes.
Julian Avila is a freelance print journalist. Back in 2010, he was writing for one of Spain's top newspapers, ABC.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think we will never see a team like that ever again.
When the team returned home, more than 1 million people came out to form a hero's welcome as the team bus drove through the capital. Well, that victory parade eventually ended up here on the banks of Madrid's River Manzanares. Now, it's a lot quieter here now, but 10 years ago, there was the mother of all fiestas taking place right here. One thing you have to remember is that this was so much more than a sporting victory. Spain was still suffering the after effects of the 2008 economic crisis. There were more than 4 million people unemployed. So when Spain won that World Cup and brought the trophy home, it was a huge psychological boost that brought this entire nation together.
I get emotional just talking about that. I was extremely lucky as a journalist to be there in 2 European Championships and the Olympic Games. But the World Cup in South Africa was an experience I will never forget.
Javier Arraiz is one of Spain's top sports broadcasters. He was with the team for the entire tournament and for the celebrations back home.
I think that it was not only Spain's national team success, but the whole country's. All Spanish citizens' dream at some point was to win the World Cup. Sometimes we still have to pinch ourselves to know that it's true, that we achieved that Spain was the best, and everyone knew it, and we showed it to the world.
Whether scenes like this will ever be repeated with the current team remains to be seen. But for now, that day back in 2010 will forever be a memory to be cherished by their loyal fans. Rahul Pathak, CGTN, Madrid.